Okay, I'm Angela Gutermuth, and I've got my ham hock here. Can you look down at the ham hock? It's really flat and gushy, and I asked for the ham hock, a couple weeks in advance, and went the day, a few days ago, and this is what he was able to give me. We live in a small town, and there's only one grocery store, and this is what he gave me for a ham hock, and I decided we'd go ahead and use it because it was fresh and the things ought to work. I made a mistake there and dyed the bone red accidentally, but I don't think that will matter too much. So the first thing I'm going to do is make a tracing of the ham hock. I have already written the date in the upper right hand corner with the initials of Mr. Ham Hock. I have 12 o'clock and 6 o'clock written for orientation on the bag. And then I'll just start out tracing, and then I'll stop and just finish it up and then show it again in the video. Okay, so, okay, I'm going to do the tracing now. So, okay, you can probably turn it off. Are you turning it off?
Okay.
Okay, so now I'm taking the tracing off of the wound, and I'm going to put it in a place where you can see it on a white background. Can you see that? And again, it shows the date, the initials of Ham Hock, the 12 o'clock and 6 o'clock orientation. N is for necrotic tissue, M is for muscle tissue. The bone is labeled with B's. Again, muscle, and then the C's are for connective tissue. Okay, you can turn it. Okay, so now I'm going to measure the wound area with the centimeter measure on the little wound measure here. I'm going to go the longest length by the widest width. What I'm going to get here, the longest length is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3.5 centimeters, and I'll write this down, by 2.8 centimeters. 3.5 by 2.8. And then I'm going to go ahead and measure it over here on my tracing and see what I get. On the tracing, it measures about 3.8 centimeters by the widest width by 3 centimeters. 3.8 by 3. Okay, you can turn it. Okay, you can turn it off because I have to do the math.
Go.
Okay, the top one shows the wound measurements, which is 3.5 centimeters by 2.8 centimeters, which is equal to 9.8 centimeters squared. The bottom one is the tracing, which is 3.8 centimeters by 3.0 centimeters, which is 11.4 centimeters. You see the tracing shows up quite a bit larger than the wound itself. Okay. Okay, so here I have the number 10 scalpel blade, and I'm going to hold it between my third and fourth fingers. And with the blade on my palm side, I'm going to wrap my fingers around it right here on the serrations. And then I'm going to go ahead and shave this area of callus. Unfortunately, mine didn't have any good place with bone underneath it, so I'm going to have to kind of stabilize it with my hands. I'm going to go in at kind of an angle. I'm having a little trouble here, but I'll make it happen. And then flatten it out to shave with little sine motions. I think I need a little bit more practice with this. Here, you zoomed in. No. A little difficulty with this, but there we go. Okay, here's one of the flakes. It's pretty thin. And then I'm just going to keep on working on this a little while, and then I'll show it to you at the end. Keep filming it, I guess, for a little bit. So I'm going to go in at an angle. And I've got my forearms resting on the table to secure myself. Ooh, boy. Okay, and then I'm sawing back and forth and back and forth. Whew. Okay, you can turn it off and then I'll get it finished. Oh. Okay, so this is my finished product. I really had a hard time with this. I think it's because it wasn't over a bony prominence and it tended to slip quite a bit. I went too deep, you can see in that spot right there, and just had some difficulty with it kind of squishing around underneath the scalpel. It didn't feel like the scalpel was sharp enough, which I'm sure it was. Like I said before, I don't think it's because it's firm enough underneath. Some of the flakes you can tell are too big. This one's probably just about right. It's nice and see-through, as is this one. But this is my finished product on this, and like I said, I would actually need a bit more practice to get that technique perfected. Okay. Okay, so next what I'm going to demonstrate is cross-hatching on this blue product part of the skin. First thing is holding the number 15 blade. I should be holding it like a pencil. It's resting in my first web space. And my fingers are on the serrations and not the blade. And my forearms want to stay resting on the table. And I'm going to try to use the curved part of the blade instead of the tip. And just go through, not all the way through to my tissue. So here we go. I'm going to cross hatch it kind of like a tic-tac-toe. I'll do cuts in one direction first and then try to open them up. Okay, alright, and then I'm going to try to open up and show you. I don't know if you can see well enough, but it does look like it goes through just to light blue and not all the way to the white. I actually am pretty proud of that. I think I did a decent job. So I'm going to go the other direction now and keep on for cross hatching. You don't want to go onto the good tissue on the outside of the wound though. And again, I'm going to open it up just so you can see the tic-tac-toes on the other side. There's one that looks like it might have gone a little deep over here, but the others look pretty good. Should be the end of cross hatching. Okay.
Can I turn it off?
Yes. Okay, so lastly here, I'm going to debride with the forceps and scissors. The scissors are held in my right hand, which is my dominant hand, with my thumb and my fourth finger. My index finger is going to rest here for a 3-point grip to try to work on securing it. I'm going to hold the forceps in this hand. I tried holding it like this earlier and it was really uncomfortable for me. I couldn't work as well, so I am going to put it in the palm of my hand to grip with my left hand over here. I'm going to try to keep my scissors pointed up throughout the debridement so that I don't go too deep and take good healthy tissue with it accidentally. Okay, here we go. I'm going to take the blue tissue and try to cut with the middle half to third of the scissors. Take my little tissue flex and get rid of them over here. This is pretty serious dye. It seems like it's soaked in pretty well.
Indigo blue?
Indigo blue. Stole my daughter's cupcake dyes. Oh, and rest my forearms so I'm nice and steady. That was an initial error there. I wasn't as steady as I should be potentially. And I'm just taking it and pulling it up and cutting that dead old nasty stuff off. It's definitely a little bit awkward to keep my forearms down, and I might need to take them off and brace them against my body because it's got, my arms are too low and awkward. So I'm going to take my elbows up and rest them against my body instead of on the table, and I'm hoping that's okay. It just feels a lot more secure and better position. Well, it feels like a much better position for me. And I'm going to turn off the film and keep working on this and then show you the finished product.
Okay, we're in.
Okay, you ready? You running?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I don't know if earlier I had my index finger resting as that 3-point securing
Show
grip.
us again.
So I'm just putting my index finger on here to help secure the scissors. Okay, you can come on.
Nice.
Okay, so here is my debrided wound.
Where?
Right here. Right here, you can see it's mostly light blue. I had really dark blue dye. There's a couple places you can see in here where I might have gone a little deep, like right there it looks fleshy, and right there it looks a little bit fleshy. And so I might have gotten a little carried away in those two places. Don't show it too seriously. And then over here are all my little debridement